Well done.
It wasn't a good idea for us to meet this evening, was it? That better go as well.
Maybe.
Right.
You're the coward. Attacking someone who's incapable of defending himself, as you well know.
You're right. You're right, and when you put it like that, it makes me feel even worse. The thing is, all of a sudden, I can't understand. I have no idea what Yvonne and I have in common. I have no idea what my relationship with him consists of.
Yvonne's always been just as he is.
No, he used to be eccentric, kind of absurd. He was always unstable, but his eccentricity was disarming.
What about me?
What about you?
Have you any idea what you and I have in common?
That's a question that will take us down a very long road.
Lead on.
I'm sorry I upset Yvonne.
At last, you said something approximately human to me. What makes it worse is that daub that he has hanging over his mantelpiece was, I'm afraid, painted by his father.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shit.
Uh-huh.
But you said...
I know. I remembered as soon as I had said it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yvonne returns! The elevator was full. I clambered off down the stairs thinking, a coward? An amoeba? No substance? I thought, I'll come back here with a gun and I'll blow his head off, and then you'll see how flabby and obsequious I am. And then I reached the bottom level and I said to myself, Yvonne, you haven't spent the past 6 years in therapy to finish up shooting one of your best friends. And you haven't spent the past 6 years in therapy without realizing there is some deep malice that must lie behind his insane aggression. So I relaunched myself, telling myself as I reached that penitential stare, this is a cry for help. I have to help you. I have to help Mark if it's the last thing I do. The other day I was discussing you both with Finkelson and
You discuss us with Finkelson?
I discuss everything with Finkelson.
And why exactly were you discussing us?
I forbid you to discuss me with that asshole.
You are in no position to forbid me anything.
Why were you discussing us?
I knew that your relationship was under strain, and I wanted Finkelson to explain exactly what was...
All right, what the bastard say?
Something rather amusing, actually.
They're allowed to give their opinions?
No, they never give their opinions. But this time he did give his opinion, and he even made a little gesture. He never makes a gesture, he's always so rigid. I sometimes say to him, for Christ's sakes, move around
All
a
right,
bit.
what'd he say?
Who gives a fuck what he said?
I want to know what he said, all right? Shit.
What possible interest could we have in what he said?
I want to know.
You want to know what he said?
You took notes?
I wrote it down, it was very complicated. Shall I read it to you?
Go on.
If I'm who I am because I'm who I am, and you're who you are because you're who you are, then I'm who I am and you're who you are. If on the other hand, I'm who I am because you're who you are, and if you're who you are because I'm who I am, then I'm not who I am and you're not who you are. You see why I had to write it down?
How much do you pay this man?
400 euros twice a week.
Great.
And in cash. I found something out. They don't allow you to pay by check. Freud said you have to feel the banknotes as they slip through your fingers.
What a lucky man you are to be getting the benefit of this fellow's experience.
Absolutely. We'd really appreciate it if you could copy that out.
Yes, it's bound to come in handy.
You're wrong. It's very profound.
If it's because of him you came back to turn the other cheek, you should be grateful. He's turned you into a pussy, but you're happy. That's all that counts.
And all this because he doesn't want to believe that I like your entourage.
I don't give a fuck what you think of it. Either of you.
The more I see it, the more I like it. Honestly.
Let's stop talking about the painting, shall we? Once and for all. I have no interest in discussing it further.
Why are you so touchy?
I'm not touching Mark. You've told us what you think. Fine. The subject is closed.
You're getting upset.
I'm not getting upset. I'm exhausted.
See, if you're touchy, it means you're too caught up in other people's opinions.
I'm exhausted, Mark. This is completely pointless. To tell you the truth, I'm quite close to getting bored with the two of you.
Let's go and eat.
You go off together.
No.
You go.
It's so rare the three of us are together.
Just as well by the look of it.
I don't understand what's going on here. Why can't we all just calm down? Why do we have to insult each other, especially over a painting?
Do you realize all this calm down and behaving like the vicar is just adding fuel to the fire? Is this something new?
I will not be undermined.
This is most impressive. Perhaps I should go to the theater.
You can't, there are no vacancies. What are you eating?
Jalsamio.
Giving in to the reason of logic, marriage, children, death, stationary. What else can go wrong?
We're not worthy of like that.
Shh, exactly.
Or are you afraid if it remains my presence, you'll finish up looking at it through my eyes?
No. You know what Paul Valéry says, and I'd go quite a bit further.
I don't give a fuck what Paul Valéry says.
You've gone off Paul Valéry.
Don't quote Paul Valéry at me.
But you used to love Paul Valéry.
I don't give a fuck what Paul Valéry says.
But you're the one that turned me on to him. I discovered Paul Valéry through you.
Don't quote Paul Valéry at me. I don't give a fuck what Paul Valéry says.
What do you give a fuck about?
I give a fuck about you buying that painting. I give a fuck about you just spending 200 grand on that piece of shit.
Don't start again, Mark!
I'm going to tell you what I give a fuck about, since everyone is coming clean. I give a fuck about your sniggering and insinuations. Your suggestion that I also think this picture is a grotesque joke. You've denied that I could feel any genuine attachment to it. You've tried to set up some kind of loathsome complicity between us. And that's what's made me feel, Mark, to use your expression, that we have less and less in common recently. Your perpetual display of suspicion.
It's true. I can't genuinely imagine you loving that painting.
Well, why?
Because I love Serge. And I can't love the Serge that's capable of buying that painting.
Why do you say buying? Why don't you say loving?
I can't say loving. I can't believe loving.
So why would I buy it if I didn't love it?
That's the no of the question.
See how smug he is? All I'm doing is teasing him, and his answer is this serenely pompous, heavy hint. It never crossed your mind for a second, however improbable that it might seem, that I might really love it, and that your vicious, inflexible opinion, and your disgusting assumption of complicity might be hurtful to me?
No.
When you asked me what I thought of Paula, a girl who once spent an entire dinner party maintaining that Down syndrome could be cured homeopathically, did I say I found her ugly, repellent, charmless? I could have done.
Is that what you think of Paula?
Well, what's your theory?
No, he doesn't think that. You could possibly think that of Paula.
See the effect you can have?
Do you think what you just said about Paula?
Worse, actually.
No.
Worse, Serge? Worse than repellent? Will you explain to me how someone can be worse than repellent?
When it's something that concerns you personally, I see where it can bite a little.
Serge, will you explain to me how someone can be worse than repellent?
No need to take that frosty tone. Perhaps it's... I'm trying to answer you. Perhaps it's the way she waves away cigarette smoke.
The way she waves away cigarette smoke?
Yes. The way she waves away cigarette smoke. What appears to you as a gesture of no significance, what you think of as a harmless gesture, is in fact the opposite. And the way she waves away cigarette smoke sits right at the heart of her repellentness.
You're speaking to me of Paula, the woman who shares my life, in these intolerable terms because you disapprove of her method of waving away cigarette smoke.
That's right. The way she waves away cigarette smoke condemns her out of hand.
Serge, before I completely lose control, you better explain yourself. This is very serious what you're doing.
Well, a normal woman would say, I'm sorry. I find the smoke a bit uncomfortable. Would you mind moving your ashtray? But not her. She doesn't deign to speak. She describes her contempt in the air, with this calculated gesture, wearily malicious, a hand movement she imagines is imperceptible. The implication of which to say, go on, Smoke. Smoke, it's pathetic, but what's the point in calling attention to it? Which means you can't tell if it's you or your cigarette that's getting up her nose.
He's exaggerating.
You notice he doesn't say that I'm wrong. He says that I'm exaggerating. He doesn't say that I'm wrong. Her method of waving away cigarette smoke reveals a cold, condescending, and narrow-minded nature. Just what you're in the process of acquiring yourself. And it's a shame, Mark. It's a real shame you've taken up with such a life-denying woman.
Paul's not life-denying.
Take back what you just said, Sarah.
Yes, you must.
Take back what you just said.
Take it back, this is ridiculous!
No.
Serge, for the last time, I demand you take back what you just said.
Take it back!
In my view, the two of you are an aberration. A pair of fossils.
No! Stop it! Get off!
Mind your own business!
No! Ow! Oh, shit! Oh,
Show me.
shit. No!
Show me. You're all right. Wait. Here you are. Put this on there for a minute.
You're complete freaks! Both of you! To the moment are completely insane!
Don't get excited.
That really hurt! If I find out you burst my eardrum,
Of course not.
how do you know you're no ear, nose, and throat? Two educated people, two old friends!
Come on, calm down.
You can't diminish someone because of a method of waving away cigarette smoke!
Yes, you can.
But it makes no sense!
What do you know about sense?
Oh, that's right. Keep on attacking me. Attack me. I could be hemorrhaging inside, but no. I just saw a mouse running past.
It's a rat.
A rat!
He comes and goes.
You've got rats!
Don't take the compress away. Leave it where it is.
What's the matter with you? What's happened between you two? Something must have happened for you to get this demented.
I bought a work of art that makes Mark uncomfortable.
Oh, there you go again. It's a downward spiral. You can't get out of it, both of you. It's like Yvonne and me, the most pathological relationship you can imagine.
Who's Yvonne?
My stepmother!
Been a long time since you mentioned her.
Why didn't you tell me right away what you thought of Paula?
I didn't want to upset you.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, when I asked you what you thought of Paula, what you said was she's a perfect match for you.
Yes.
Which sounded quite positive coming from you.
Sure.
Given the state you were in at the time.
What are you trying to prove?
But today, your assessment of Paula, or in other words, me, is far harsher.
I don't understand.
Of course you understand.
I don't.
Since I can no longer support you in your frenzy though recent craving for novelty, I've become condescending, narrow-minded, fossilized.
I'm in agony. It's like a corkscrew drilling through my brain.
Have a drop of brandy.
What do you think? Don't you think if something's shaken loose, that might be a bit of a risk?
Would you like an aspirin?
Aspirin doesn't agree with me.
Well, what the hell do you want?
Don't worry about me. Continue on with your preposterous argument. Don't pay any attention to me.
Easier said than done.
You know you can squeeze out a drop of compassion, but no!
I don't mind your spending time with Paula. I don't resent you being with Paula.
There's no reason to resent it.
But you resent me for... Well, I was about to say for being with the entourage.
Yes!
I'm missing something.
I didn't replace you with Paula.
Are you saying that I replaced you with the entourage?
Yes.
I replaced you with the entourage.
Yes, the entourage. And all it implies.
Do you understand what he's talking
I
about?
couldn't care less. You're both insane.
In my time, you'd never have bought that painting.
What's that supposed to mean in your time?
The time when you made a distinction between me and others. When you judge things by my standards.
Was there such a time?
That's just cruel and petty.
No, I assure you, I'm staggered.
And if Yvonne had